afternoon again. I'm an architect, as I mentioned before, and in my profession, through the AIA, which is our equivalent of our AMA, we have aligned and committed as a profession to what's called the 2030 Challenge, and that is that we are working in 5-year increments on performance of buildings in the area of energy towards a zero net energy standard for all buildings we design in 2030. And we have increments of improvement in performance from basically the 2000 international code on through 2030. And so my point being is, that's a progressive standard with a goal that really matters. And what I'm not hearing in this bill, I think everyone that's kind of in the business assumes and knows that what's driving this is the EPA changes standards on phosphorus. And we have to figure out how to meet that standard. That's like one step in the equivalent to what I just described for my profession. But the EPA has been pretty unreliable in its timeline. Remember, it was 1970, shortly after Earth Day, that Richard Nixon, that wild-eyed radical, established the EPA and got the Clean Air Act and the Clean Water Act passed. And we keep having Earth Day, but we keep having a need for Earth Day 42 years later, because along the way, of course, politicians, on behalf of the industries, found ways to lower that horizon. The original intention was to get to a 100% clean industry, to have zero pollution. And we still can get there. There's a guy named Bill McDonough, a rather amazing architect who's explored and written deeply on this subject and has a firm that consults on the idea of cradle to cradle, which is that what we call waste is that. It means it's an end product that should have gone to some other productive and profitable purpose. And it's a way to increase the efficiency of business, and it's while you provide great benefit to the earth and our ecosystem. I would like to see, especially in Wisconsin, with our tradition of Leopold and Nelson and so on, that we should be having goals here, just like we have for ourselves. And we shouldn't have to reference the EPA. It would be better if we go back to leading like we have in the past and setting our own standards and leading the way down. I'm very familiar with this training scheme here in Dane County in the Ohio watershed. The Nelson Institute has done a great forum series on it, and it really is very beneficial and is leading to some great stuff. And I understand it's deferring the real bite on my tax bill as a residential sewage district. But what I don't see in the bill here, as was alluded to, the example was given was I make an improvement upstream for my disimprovement downstream. But this bill doesn't say it has to be in that order. So you can make an improvement downstream, from what I read, for increased pollution upstream. And the point being on this trading thing is location matters, like all real estate matters. And so there doesn't seem to be any way in which to value that some places shouldn't be subject to increased pollution. None of us want it, but it's a question of in whose backyard is that stuff going to get dumped. And so it goes back to that, it's fine in the short term, and I also read it sounds like, although I understand the importance of longer-term planning, and that's what we need to do more of it in this country. 20-year timelines, 40 and 100-year. But the bill says nothing. It could be forever. And so I do not want any legislation passed here that essentially gives an in perpetuity license to pollute. Unfortunately, that's kind of what environmental regulation has become. Is it regulates how much damage you can do and who gets to do it and where they get to do it. We occasionally up our standards, but there's no reliability to that on the other standards. So I really urge you to think about putting some goals in here. We're up to it. All businesses are up to it. And the businesses that really practice this, they prosper. Their return on investment and their profits their stability of the company goes up. And they're far better investments, actually, than companies that have lower standards and basically throw money away by not figuring out what to do with those end products, because they're not wasted. So I would just, I think it really needs some adjustment here. I don't have any confidence that we're going to end up with a better state and better waters the way it's written. I know that's the intention, and we'll get it some places, and then it will get worse some places. And all the focus is on phosphorus, and I know that's the main thought here, but it doesn't specify what pollutants this system can work for. And there's a lot of other ones that really matter where they're discharged and who doesn't and how much. So, again, it's just a nice start, but we should take our time and really craft good legislation to do this. Thank you.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Kuharski? If not, thank you for your testimony. That is the last of the testimonies today. We do have registration.